Hi, my name is Julie Farlinger, and I am beginning the Code Review 3 with the hard way exercises. In exercise 1 and 2, we went through the puts command and shows how a comment line using the octothorpe or pound sign. Here's my exercise 1, and I ran it down below in the terminal. And my exercise 2 shows just the commenting, and exercise 3, we use some numbers and math and add those into strings and show the different results. It also introduced us to the IRB Council. Study drill 3 asked to write a new calculation, in which I wrote a calculation for the mileage, which I'll scroll down because there's a lot of code here. Here I set a couple variables and wrote a calculation, and displays how many miles per gallon the person will get. I also rewrote this using floating numbers as well. Exercise 4 through 9 uses variables and printing and variable contents into the string. So I'll just go through those. Here's my 4. Here's my 4 that's run. Five has variables here, then we throw them into strings, and here that one run. Six and 7 introduces concatenation of variables, and chapter 7 compares puts to print, where puts adds a new line and print does not. So here's 6 and here's 7. And as you can see, we printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which gets us the cheese, and then the puts gets us the burger. If we would have used puts for both of them, cheese would have been on one line and burger would have been on another. And then 8 and 9 just go through more variables. This is actually passing an array, type into the formatter, and then it shows here that when we pass in these arguments, it's going to display, oops, there's my 7. It's going to display 1, 2, 3, 4, and whatever we assign to those arguments there. And 9, we're just doing more printing and adding the new lines into those to print the months. And now in 10 we go more into the backslashes, the backslash characters, which are used to escape, as well as to do tabs and new lines by escaping the T and the N and others as well. It also introduces us to the triple quote, which will allow us to type multi-line of string, and then it just ends when you end the triple quote. Exercise 11 and 12 shows how to use the get chomp, which we can prompt the users for information. So here I have exercise 11 asking how old I am, how tall I am. I can't remember if this was, we're going to pretend it's inches, and here I believe this was one of the study drills asking some other questions. I wasn't Exercise 12 asks to give a number. I'll give it 99, and I'll give this one 199. So that just does some math in there as well. And exercise 13 introduces us to the ARGV, or argument variable, which holds arguments passed by the user. When you run these, you have to pass in the arguments, and so in this exercise we have 3 arguments that are passed into the arg variable, and so we have to pass in 3 arguments here. So I passed in cats, dogs, and fish, and it displays cats, dogs, and fish there with these strings. And 14 introduces prompting users and passing in the input. So I had to pass in my name, and now it's going to ask me some questions, and then it passes those into variables, and then we pass those variables into strings down below. And 15 is going to show us how to open a file. So here I opened up the Ruby exercise 15, and I also passed in the file that we want to open right here. And it says the step I've typed in, this is the step I typed into a file. So I'm gonna and just does it again. Here's the file that I had, the exercise sample, and in 16 it's going to write to the file. So it's asking us if we want to erase the file, and I'm going to say yes, and now it's going to let us type into that file and close the file. So then when we open up that file, it's going to show what we just typed in. And finally, for exercise 17, 17 is going to copy one file to another, and to do that we're going to pass in 2 arguments, the from file and the to file. So to do that, when we run the file, we're going to pass in the test text file that we just did, along with a new file name. It says it's going to copy it into a new one, and here we have a new file, txt, that has the same information. So that is my tutorial for the hard way, and we will then proceed with the Hardle tutorial.